read 106 books in 2023, and this is a one-sentence review of each of them. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ivana. I like to read, and I'm really excited about all of this. It's been a long time coming. We're gonna go in chronological order. I'll tell you the title of the book, my one-sentence review. I don't do star ratings, but I'm gonna do did I hate, dislike, think it was okay, like, or love the book. So those will be like my star ratings. Completely arbitrary. And I will also tell you if the book was gifted, borrowed, or if I bought it. So let's get started. Mika in Real Life is a funny, sweet, and fast-paced contemporary fiction novel that centers a Japanese-American woman reconnecting with the daughter she put up for adoption in her teens. I liked it, got it from the library. If you see me looking that way, that's where my notes are. A Prayer for the Crown Shy is a soft slice of life follow-up to A Song for the Wild Built that focuses on the joy in little comforts. Loved it, library book. Mooncakes is a queer and cute graphic novel set in New England that features werewolves and witches. I liked it, library book. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute is a wholesome YA romance, but also that showcased really healthy mental health representation and healthy relationships. I liked it, bought it. Girl, Woman, Other is an ambitious and kind of overwhelming novel that is told in 12 interconnected stories, 11 women and 1 non-binary person, that focuses on a ton of different issues. It was okay, and I bought it used. Life Ceremony is a bizarre collection of short stories that, in typical Sayaka Murata fashion, question societal conventions. I liked it, it was maybe too long, and I got it from the library. We had to remove this post. Translated from Dutch and written by a woman, it is a short and fucked up story about how monitoring the internet for inappropriate sexual/violent content can really mess people up. I liked it, and it was a library book. And Yet is a solid poetry collection that centers motherhood and giving up on being an overachiever. I liked it and I wanted to give away. The Possession was my first or no, and it is a raw, unflinching memoir or maybe autofiction about a woman who becomes obsessed with her ex-husband and his lover. It is an ugly book that is like looking into a mirror if you've ever experienced really intense jealousy, and I absolutely loved it, ate it up, and got it from the library, but then bought it. What My Bones Know is a transformative, honest, well-researched, and moving memoir shedding light on a disorder that is not recognized in the United States by the DSM, and it is complex trauma or complex PTSD. I absolutely loved it too, and I got it from the library and then bought it. Delicates is the sequel to Sheets, and it is a cozy, gorgeous, pastel-colored graphic novel that centers friendship and fitting in. I loved it, and I got it from the library. El Amante Japonés, or The Japanese Lover, is a hodgepodge magical realism book about older people in World War II. I disliked it, and I bought it. And then I think I donated it. Lonely Castle in the Mirror is a heartfelt and comforting fantasy YA book exploring bullying and friendship in Japan. I loved it, and I bought it. Ibelis Explains It All is a novel in verse about a Black Puerto Rican girl in the US facing mental health struggles. I bought this, and I loved it. Much love to Andrea Drizarango, who's also my friend. Alatsoe is a cute and dorky immersive YA book featuring a 17-year-old Lipan Apache girl who honestly acts like she's 13 and who can raise the spirits of dead animals. I liked it, and this was gifted to me by the publisher. Pocahontas was a sharp poetry collection by a Maori woman. I liked it, and I got it from the library. It is currently snowing/hailing, so that might be the noise in the background. Stay With Me is an intriguing character-driven portrait of a marriage in 1980s Nigeria, which really made me question why people decide to become parents, as well as the sacrifices that parents are willing to make for their kids. I liked it, especially on audio, and I got it from the library. Everything is Beautiful and I Am Not Afraid. This was a well-meaning graphic book about mental health that basically felt like Instagram posts with no narrative thread. This was okay, and I got it from the library. Thieves is a light and fluffy queer French graphic novel about a kleptomaniac, and it captures teenage stupidity so well. I loved it, and I bought it. Happening is a graphic and powerful sociological yet personal account of Ernaud's illegal 1960s back alley abortion in France that really focuses on the intersection of abortion, misogyny, and class. It feels weird to say that I loved it, but I loved it, and I bought this. Udon Noodle Soup is a soothing graphic short story collection that really reads like chicken soup for the soul, and it's written and illustrated by a really talented German Chinese author and illustrator. I liked it, and I bought it. Big Swiss is an all over the place lit fic about a messy bisexual white woman who is a transcriber for a therapist with some questionable lines. I liked it because the audiobook was really good, and this was gifted to me by Libro. You Exist Too Much is a lit fic book about a queer Palestinian United Statesian woman with a love addiction who explores generational trauma but sometimes over explains herself. I liked it and I got it from the library. Papaya Salad is a beautiful magical realist graphic memoir by a Thai Italian woman about her grandfather's time in the Thai diplomatic army during World War II. I really liked it and I got it from the library. Fine, A Comic About Gender is a solid, informative book about gender featuring Midwesterners from all walks of life. I liked it and I got it from the library. Prison by Any Other Name is an eye-opening nonfiction book that really challenged my thinking and focused on how the government is continuing to find ways to incarcerate people beyond prisons. I liked it and I bought it. In Limbo is a gorgeous and honest graphic novel memoir about a Korean United Statesian person who is trying to find themselves and figure out who they are, ugly, toxic parts and all. I liked it and I got it from the library. Motherhood. Even though it's gimmicky and very cis-het normative, it's an honest look at the question of motherhood, explored through vignettes that really got me thinking and that are like seared in my brain still to this day. I liked it and I got it from the library. Ghost Music is a short, unsettling, trippy book featuring talking mushrooms in Beijing and an unreliable narrator. It was okay, but I would read more by the author, and this was gifted to me by Libro. Central Places is Taylor Swift's "'Tis the Damn Season" in book form. A miserable, messy character study of an unlikable protagonist going back to her hometown after making it in New York City. I liked it, I want to read more by the author, and I got it from the library. Simple Passion is an intense, brilliant, and intimate portrait of an all-consuming affair. I absolutely loved it and I bought it. Happy Place is a steamy, fun, fake dating romance told in dual storylines that kept me interested till the very end. I liked it and it was gifted to me by Libro. Chlorine is a creepy, fever dreamy, grotesque book about girlhood that I thought took itself a little bit too seriously. It was okay, but I would read more by the author, and I got this from Scribd, which is now Everend. The Seas is a flowery, whimsical, magical realism book that tried a bit too hard. I thought it was okay, and I got it from the library. Lucy is an insightful and hilarious coming-of-age tale featuring a strange and sharp-tongued protagonist who is yearning for freedom. I loved it. I bought it used. The House on Mango Street features whimsical vignettes about a Chicana living in Chicago facing machismo, racism, and poverty. I liked it. I bought it. Diary of a Void, a wacky, fun, and surreal tiny about a woman who is tired of workplace harassment, so she decides to fake a pregnancy to have her male coworkers back off. I liked it and I borrowed it from the library. The Lover is an unflinching and raw portrait of an interracial affair and a chaotic single mother family in French and Chinese colonized Vietnam. I liked it. I bought it. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea is a YA fantasy book that draws on Korean folklore, and it's also reminiscent of the Studio Ghibli film Spirited Away that had a little bit of everything. I absolutely loved it and I got it from the library. It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth, an eye-opening, mental health focused meta graphic memoir exploring the complexities about writing about one's life with a focus on suicidal ideation. I liked it. I bought it. Woman Without Shame is Tia Sandra's latest poetry collection that is playful, honest, and sensual. I liked it. I got it from the library. Brotherless Night is a poignant and historical fiction novel that felt very true to life and that explored the nuances of the Sri Lankan Civil War. Liked it. Got it from the library. Normal People is a realistic, tender, and painfully awkward book about growing up that really tugged at my heartstrings. I loved it. I bought it used. Really Good Actually is a laugh out loud, hilarious, relatable, and somewhat depressing contemporary novel about a young divorcee, and it was reminiscent of Bridget Jones' Diary. Loved it. Everend. Yellowface is a funny and on-the-nose wild ride of a book that takes on the publishing industry. I liked it and I got it from the library. Couplets is an angsty, sexy novel in verse about writing and how love is messy. I liked it. I bought it. Skim is a queer graphic novel published in 2008 that had pretty art but really rubbed me the wrong way. I disliked it. I got it from the library. My Last Innocent Year is an angsty, melancholy historical fiction campus novel that made me really emotional and tackled a lot of issues, including sexual assault in the wake of the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal. I liked it and I got it from the library. YN is a fever-dreamy, philosophical, Kafka-esque book about a K-pop idol superfan that I barely remember, but I know I enjoyed. I liked it and it was gifted to me by Libro. The Bobcat. Don't bother reading it because it is pretentious, redundant, and overwritten. Hated it. Got it from the library. Imogen obviously is a sweet and cute coming-of-age story centering on the concepts of queerbaiting and the harms that come from it. I liked it and I got it off of Everend. The Housekeeper and the Professor is a Japanese book about philosophy, relationships, and math, specifically prime numbers, that I found strangely comforting on audio, and that made me shed a single tear. I liked it and I got it off of Everend. The Luis Ortega Survival Club is a YA book about sexual assault and serious issues that was well-meaning but was executed poorly. I thought it was okay. I got it off of Everend. Halfway there. A Scatter of Light is a solid, summery, new adult novel about a queer girl finding herself. I liked it. Library. Old Enough is a funny, queer, Gen Z, coming-of-age campus novel about friendships, how we change as people, and about forgiving ourselves. I loved it so much, and I bought it. Goblin Girl is a Swedish graphic novel that is crass and has funky and weird art and ideas. I liked it. I got it from the library. Acts of Desperation is an immersive Irish book about desire, self-loathing, and really fucked up relationships that crawled under my skin. Horrified me, but also made me feel less alone. It feels really weird to say this about this one, but I loved it and I borrowed it from the library. Our Wives Under the Sea is a book about a deep sea exploration gone wrong and a portrait of a marriage that manages to be unsettling but also so darn romantic. I loved it. I got it from the library. Family Lore is a magical realism tale of a Dominican United Statesian family, specifically a group of sisters who have special gifts. And that was probably one of my biggest letdowns of 2023 because it was just okay. And this was gifted to me by the publisher. Palimpsest is a detailed graphic memoir of a transracial / transnational adoption of a Korean-born Swedish woman and its complexities and detrimental effects. I liked it. I bought it. A Small Place is a beautifully written, hilarious, and searing letter to the mostly white tourists in Antigua. Loved it. Blue is an introspective, tiny book in translation that reads like poetry about a Haitian woman in a liminal space, an airport, where she shares her musings on home, solitude, and shame. I liked it. I bought it used. Grown is a YA fictionalized tale of the R. Kelly story that was page-turny, but not a favorite. I liked it. I bought it used. Shame is an unflinching ethnographic look at shame through Annie Ernaux's experiences in town, and it was a bit drier than the rest of the works that I've read by her. I liked it. I bought it. Exciting Times is a litfic Irish book that is both funny and depressing and that looks into power dynamics and relationships, and that ended up being surprisingly hopeful. I liked it. I got it from the library. The Rachel Incident is a relatable, laugh-out-loud, hilarious book about growing up, the good and the bad parts of friendship, and following your dreams. I absolutely loved it and I bought it. Borderless is a thrilling YA book about migrating to the US through the eyes of a fully fleshed Guatemalan teen girl. I liked it. I bought it. I got it signed. Hijab Butch Blues is a brave, anonymously written, eye-opening book by a non-binary author who explores the Quran through a queer lens. I liked it and I bought it. The Afro-Minimalist Guide to Living with Less is an accessible guide to minimalism through a Black lens. I liked it. I bought it. The Adult is a campus novel about an age gap situationship between the blandest white female college student ever and an older woman. It was okay, but I would read more by the author, and I got this off of Everend. The next book I am not talking about because there is a marketing boycott on St. Martin's Press because of the actions actions of an Islamophobic employee. There's information downstairs if you want to know more about that. Warrior Girl Unearthed is a solid YA book about a reckless Anishinaabe teen girl fighting back against the exploitation of Native American artifacts by both institutions and people. I liked it and I got it from the library. El Invencible Verano de Liliana, or Liliana's Invincible Summer, is a poignant and engaging nonfiction book about the murder of the author's sister in Mexico City in the 90s by the sister's ex-boyfriend. This is a book that made me realize that true crime can be done in a respectful way. I loved it and I bought it. Heavy is a raw and real nuanced book written as a letter to the author's mother, tackling Black masculinity, racism, addiction, and the transformative power of books and reading. I absolutely loved it, and this was gifted to me by Kat from Kat's Field Notes. Thank you, Kat. Homebodies is a contemporary fiction novel about a messy queer woman going back to her hometown after shit hits the fan in her media job. It was okay, and it was gifted to me by Libro. A Heart in a Body in the World is a sad, angsty, powerful YA book about a girl coping with trauma who decides to run across the country to raise awareness for something I can't talk about because it's a spoiler. I loved it and I got it from the library. Babel is a violent yet cozy campus fantasy / historical fiction novel centering on race, power, and language. I liked it and I highly recommend it on audio, and I got it from Everend. All Are Hidden Gifts and the other 2 books in the trilogy by Caroline O'Donoghue. I'm gonna do them all together. It's a quirky, queer, intersectional series set in Ireland about witches with gifts that are connected to the tarot. I like them and I got them from Everend. Witch and Wild Things is a cozy, vibey, comforting Latina romance centering on plant magic and sisterhood. I loved it and I bought it. This was a guilty pleasure. Pedro Páramo is a classic Mexican tale about a ghost town that started the magical realism genre that didn't hit as hard as I thought it would. It was okay and I bought it. You Again is a New York City fall romance that was too long, but it did feature great banter between the 2 insufferable main characters. I thought it was okay. I bought it and I'm gonna sell it. The Bloody Chamber and Other Stories is a grotesque yet sensual and lyrical feminist fairy tale retelling short story book by an author who might become a new favorite. I loved it and I bought it used. Anne of Green Gables is the most wholesome and delightful book I read this entire year. No notes. I loved it. I borrowed it from the library and then I bought it. My favorite thing is Monsters. Even though this graphic novel has the best ballpoint pen art I've ever seen in my life, it was way too ambitious and the story was way too convoluted. Love the art, dislike the story, bought it. Writers and Lovers. This was a reread, a melancholy yet comforting book set in Boston that is all about grief, love, and writing. I loved it, and this was gifted to me by Emma. Thank you, Emma. Creep is a nuanced and refreshing look at creeps of all kinds from a survivor of sexual assault and domestic violence. I liked it, I bought it. Half a Soul is a fairy regency romance that is the right amount of sweet. I loved it and I borrowed it from Taz. Thank you. Junior High is a cutie coming-of-age graphic novel about pursuing friendships and following your dreams. I liked it and I bought it. My Heart is a Chainsaw is a gory and fitting homage to slasher films that suffered from a female character written by a man. It was okay. I got it from the library. Juniper and Thorn was a gothic retelling of the fairy tale The Juniper Tree that was super atmospheric but really slow and had a really bland romance. It was okay, but I would read more by the author, and I got it from the library. Check and Mate was a cute YA romance that featured chess. I liked it and it was gifted to me by Libro. Love Theoretically was a predictable, steamy, fake dating romance that was pretty forgettable but still a fun time. I guess I liked it, and this was gifted to me by Libro. The Woman in Me is a solid memoir where Britney sheds light on the horrors of fame / her conservatorship, but still manages to stay hopeful. I loved it because I love Britney and the audio was great, and I got this off of Spotify. My Dark Vanessa was a dark and realistic look into sexual assault in light of the Me Too movement. It feels weird to say this, but I liked it, and I got this from the library. The Lying Life of Adults is a vulgar, ugly, coming-of-age tale about a precocious Italian teenage girl's yearning to be heroically vile. I loved it and I got it from the library. Crushing is a sweet and enjoyable silent graphic novel about misconnections and love. I liked it, I got it from the library. The Women of Brewster Place is a lyrical, funny, heartbreaking book about women in friendship. I loved it and I bought it used. The church bells are ringing. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's so loud. What is Home Mom is an architectural graphic novel focusing on a Kashmiri Muslim East Londoner trying to find her way, balancing following her dreams and being her own person with familial and societal expectations. I liked it and I got it from the library. The Blue Castle is a funny, cute, romantic book set in 1920s Canada that had the most breathtaking nature passages. I loved it, I bought it. The Lonely City is a book that centers loneliness and its connection to art that could have easily been a great extended essay collection, but instead meandered a little bit about a bunch of white men. I thought it was okay, and I bought it used. Bonjour Tristesse. I'm gonna stick with Vogue's review of this and say it was thoroughly amoral, but it was also a fun tiny about debauchery in the French Riviera written by a teen girl in the 1950s. I liked it. I got it from the library. I'm embarrassed to say this, but I reread A Court of Thorns and Roses and whatever the sequel is called, and my one sentence review is that these were a guilty pleasure to reread and were 100% inspired by Kat's field notes. I will link her videos downstairs. And I suppose I liked them and I had already bought them. And the last book I read in 2023 was We Have Always Lived in the Castle, which was a deliciously atmospheric, creepy, unsettling book that reminded me a little bit of Coraline. I liked it and I got it from the library. Whew, that was hard. So those are the reviews. Thank you so much for watching and for tuning in. I hope that you're having a great start of the year. I would love to chat downstairs. Did you read any of the books that I mentioned? Did any of them resonate with you more or less than they did with me? I hope you're having a great day or night, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! The church bells are still going. I don't understand.